Hey there! In today's video I'm going to show you 5 shocking games in which one of the sides manages to queen a pawn right in the opening. This is pretty rare, but happens once in a while, and every time that it happens, everybody is breathless. This is something pretty surprising. Queening pawns is normal in the ending, during the ending, sometimes even during the middle game, but in the opening, this is something shocking. So, without further delay, let's jump right into the games. Okay, game number 1, e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4, the Italian opening, d2 knights defense against the Italian, and d4. Yeah, one of the most aggressive tries. White wants to get rid of this pawn so the e-pawn can advance. Black captures and castle. Yeah, this is the Italian gambit, if I'm not wrong, or the Scottish gambit. I'm not pretty sure about it. I'm always confused with it. But our idea is to sacrifice this pawn to get the e-file open. And this is pretty theoretical, but we're not talking about theory today. The game continues with bishop e7, knight takes d4, knight takes d4, queen takes d4, and d6. Yeah, black is not too happy about the possibility of white's e-pawn advancing, so they play d6. f4. Well, white reinforces the control of e5, but at the same time, the queen and the king are in the same diagonal, so black plays b6. Yeah, this is a tricky move. Black is thinking about the option of getting the bishop to c5, winning the queen, but white couldn't care less and advances. e5. d5. Well, an interesting moment. The bishop is threatened, and at the same time, bishop c5 is threatened. Yeah, black sacrifices the knight because of it, because of bishop c5. Now bishop b5, bishop d7, and we reach the climax of the game. Yeah, actually it seems we must be careful with bishop c5, but the game continued with e takes f6. And now after bishop c5, rook e1, king f8. Curiously, the best move would have been rook e7, and well, white is winning after rook takes e7, but the game continued with king f8, f takes g7, king g8, and g takes h8, queen, and this is a checkmate because the queen is defended by the queen on d4, the pinned queen on d4. So this is a pretty surprising first example in which white queens with checkmate. This is pretty unusual, but okay, an interesting one. Let's continue with the second example. e4, c6, the Caro-Kann, d4, d5, knight c3, d takes e4, knight takes e4, and knight f6. This is one of the sharpest variations for black. The most typical is bishop f5, and knight d7 was the favorite of Anatoly Karpov, but knight f6 is a pretty interesting move. Knight g3. This is not so good, as white must trade on f6, doubling pawns. Both recaptures are playable. E takes f6 is a way to ease black's kingside development, but also g takes f6 is pretty normal, with the intention of castling on the queen side and use the g file to attack white's king side, white's castle king sometimes. But okay, let's go back to the game. So after knight f6, the game continued with knight g3, and black decides to attack this shy knight. The game continues with bishop g5, a strange looking move, and h4. Of course, playing queen a5 is not such a great idea because of queen d2, trading queens, or even because of bishop d2. So I mean, black gains nothing with that check. Okay, the game continues with h4, and I guess white's knight has to retreat, but the game continues with bishop takes f6, h takes g3, And this pawn is getting too aggressive, is getting close to promotion, but you could never imagine this may promote. Bishop e5. Now we are attacking h2 with a pawn and with a rook, but it is defended with a rook and the bishop. So everything is even on h2. Well, the game continues with rook takes h2, rook takes h2, and queen a5. Yeah, this is the shocking move. Yes, because of c3, this seems absolutely normal, but now black continues with queen takes e5. And after d takes e5, g takes h2, and the pawn is attacking the knight, promoting into a queen, or simply advancing. So there is no way to stop both threats. And well, the game may continue with queen h5, g takes h1, and black has got 2 extra pieces and must win the game. Yeah, the queen is trapped, but there's actually no way to bring more pieces to attack it. In the near future, this bishop may be able to come and, well, extract the queen. Okay, let me show you the third example. This is an exciting one. This is a crazy one. Okay, d4, now it's a queen's gambit. d5, c4, c6, the Slav defense, a very solid one. e3, bishop f5, typical way to play. In the Slav, they are going to play e6, and the bishop is outside the pawn chain, something that seems pretty good. But now queen b3, attacking b7 and putting pressure on d5. Well, black continues with queen b6, and after c takes d5, queen takes b3. Yes, of course, capturing on d5, c takes d5, leaves the pawn unprotected. So queen takes b3, trading the attacker, a takes b3, and well, bishop takes b1. Yeah, the thing is that c takes d5 seems absolutely normal, but the knight comes to c3, attacking and being ready to come to b5, and it's pretty annoying for black. So they decided to trade on b1 to just after rook takes b1, c takes d5, black's position is safe. But after bishop takes b1, white surprisingly could play d takes c6. This seems pretty attractive as we are capturing on b7. Yeah, but bishop e4 defends b7 and saves the piece. So it seems black is a piece up and is going to win the game. But white has a fantastic, a shocking surprise in this position. The move is rook takes a7. Yeah, sacrificing the rook, and after rook takes a7, c7, and yeah, as the rook is no longer on the back rank, the pawn is not only threatening to capture the knight, but also to promote with checkmate, and the game is over. Yeah, this is a big difference between playing c7 right away as knight c6, and the rook controls the queen in a square. So this is a fantastic sacrifice. Rook takes a7, deciding the game as white is trying to capture the rook on a8. So knight c6, I guess, is the best move. But after rook takes a8, white's got an extra exchange and a winning position. I hope you're enjoying these examples. If that's the case, please give me a thumbs up and smash the subscribe button, please. Okay, this is a shocking one. This is one of my favorites from another planet. You'll see. e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, and c3. The Ponciani opening. Yeah, the idea is pretty simple. d4, knight f6, e5 is the most promising for black, but okay, knight f6 is completely normal. d4, now knight takes e4, d5. So white is trying to gain some space and fighting for the initiative by attacking the knight. Knight e7, knight takes e5, and now, well, this is a very bad move, d6. It is opening the diagonal, and well, we can take advantage of it by playing both queen a4 or bishop b5, but the game continued with bishop b5. Now c6 is the only move, and d takes c6. Yes, we are threatening c7, winning the game. Black seems to be striving for complications and threatens the pawn on f2 and the bishop on b5 in a, well, reckless way. Well, the game continues with c takes b7, check, king d8. Of course, capturing the bishop on b5 is simply answered by the pawn promotion, b takes a8, and well, after queen takes e5, we simply castle, and we have an extra queen and a winning position. So king d8 keeps the threat alive. Black is still threatening queen takes f2. Well, knight takes f7, king c7, everything seems to be hanging, and b takes a8, knight. Yes, this is the mind-blowing position that I was talking about. It's a fork and game over. Surprisingly, if we go to Lichess database, we're going to find out that on Lichess, this position has been reached 93 times, huge number of times. Okay, I guess there are plenty of bullet games, but I can see some rapid games as well. So this is surprising, and well, it has some practical value. Let's go and see game number 5. It appears defense, e4, okay, a modern, sorry, g6, d4, bishop g7, knight f3, d6, knight c3, and knight f6. Now it transposed to a pairs. Yeah, the pairs d6, d4, knight f6, knight c3, g6. So this is the pairs, and well, the modern is a little bit different, and black plays with the flexibility of this knight staying there and do something different. Well, but after d4, bishop g7, knight f3, d6, knight c3, knight f6, we simply transpose, and bishop e3. Well, white is trying to play queen d2 and long castle, a very ambitious plan. c6, black says, okay, I'm not going to castle, as if I castle, perhaps you are going to use the h pawn. So queen d2 and queen a5. Well, getting the queen ready for white's planned queenside castle. Bishop d3, defending the pawn on e4, knight bd7, and long castle. Well, I guess short castle is also possible, but this one is more enterprising and I like it more. As you will see, it will bring a very interesting situation. b5, yeah, black is ready to attack white's knight, and well, to start a queenside attack. And here, as they say, when you're attacked on the flank, break in the center, e5, attacking the knight, but black was pretty confident of himself and played b4. Yes, this knight is attacked, and once it goes away, a2 is going to be hanging as e5 is attacked by 1, 2, 3. So this seems to be a pretty good move, but this is not the case. E takes f6, b takes c3, and here white to play and win. Okay, if you want, you can pause the video. I highly recommend you do it, because this is a shocking move. Well, the answer is queen takes c3, attacking the queen, and after queen takes c3, f takes g7 is the winning idea. Yeah, the queen cannot go anywhere, and the rook is attacked, so we are queening. And this is a pretty beautiful idea, and quite unsuspected. Usually, the thing is to play f takes g7 and c takes d2, bishop takes d2, attacking the queen and the rook. But the thing is that queen takes d2, check, whatever takes d2, and rook g8. And this is, well, this is even. It's a slightly better for white. But after the surprising queen takes c3, the game is absolutely winning. Queen takes c3, f takes g7, and, well, queen takes b2, king takes b2, rook g8, and bishop h6. And white is a piece up. 3 pieces against 2. Okay, this is really surprising to queen a pawn or to threaten to queen a pawn on such an early stage. If you know some other games with this idea, I'd love to hear from you. Please share it in the comments below. And okay, see you next time. Thank you very much for your attention. Bye bye.